Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I watched, in my opinion, what surely would have been one of my favorite movies had I watched it as a child. It is the 1976 At the Earth's Core. How it is that I never heard of this movie until just a couple days ago is beyond me. As a kid, I would have loved this. Being a huge fan of rubber monsters, this movie is definitely my jam. Now, it's not for everybody, but let's watch this trailer and let's talk about it. As has become my custom, I will do periodic pauses as an attempt to not get copyright claims. I'm also going to put my headphones on for a moment, even though I don't like wearing them.
It was the scientific marvel of the century, a mighty juggernaut to blast through the solid rock of the Earth's mantle at a rate of 78 feet.
That is Peter Cushing. This movie was a little shocking to me because all of my experiences with Peter Cushing is one, my first introduction was from Star Wars as Grand Moff Tarkin, and he had such a presence in that movie. I mean, he was scary. Even though Darth Vader was like the big baddie, you even kind of got this feeling that Darth Vader respected him. This man has so much like strength in his presence. Even though he seems skinny and frail, it's just the power in his, I don't know, in his attitude. Like, I'm not going to take any crap from anybody. That's usually how I saw him, even as him playing Van Helsing in tons of different Hammer movies or other characters, you know, relatives of Van Helsing is what he usually seemed to be. But anyway, he was always somebody that had force in his presence. It was odd in this movie, but also, obvious that he has range. Because in this one, he's almost kind of like a bumbling fool. Not foolish, but almost like caught up in his scientific mind so much that he doesn't bother with other things. But he was very bumbling in this movie, and it looked like he needed to be looked after, whereas in every other movie I've seen him in, he is very much in control of the situation. So this was a little bit odd for me.
4,000 miles into the heart of our planet.
We've been on top of the Earth long enough. It's about time we found out what's underneath. News cutters. Listeners activating now. Steady the throttles. Ready? Confounded contraptions.
Grand scale adventure from the world's favorite writer of fascinating fiction, Edgar Rice Burroughs.
I've never heard of Edgar Rice, but this is, again, I already said it, this is definitely up my alley from a childhood perspective. This is good stuff.
The Earth's core, the astounding discovery of a strange, forbidding land.
I've only seen it before in fossilized form.
A primeval nightmare world whose shadows hid the nameless terrors that were yet to come.
Okay, now this was the part that I found really funny. This was in sequence, that big parrot dinosaur showing up. You definitely saw in scale that this parrot dinosaur was huge. I mean, definitely like a 2-3 story monster. And they're trying to escape it. And this younger guy like says to Peter Cushing, hey, yeah, climb up this tree. This is where you'll be safe. And I'm thinking, that is the most absurd thing possible. Here, climb up this tree so you're in a clear line of sight for this monster so it can eat you easier. You go up there and hide while I hide on the ground and make it more difficult for me to get me. It just does. It seemed like the dumbest choice ever. Climb up a tree to get closer to its mouth. That was their. They thought that was the best option in this scenario. They are legitimately, this trailer is showing this in sequence of the movie. You could potentially, This is the first time I've watched this, but you could potentially watch the whole movie, get the gist of it just from this trailer.
Of another age, chained in bondage by an army of ape men, preyed upon by monstrous giants.
I'm telling you, I love big rubber monsters. Oh, they're the best. That fight scene went on a little long. That one was tough, I'm not going to lie. It just felt like a a big styrofoam block being pushed into this guy. It was funny. Okay. Oh, I had every intention of just trashing this movie, even though I enjoyed it. I had every intention of trashing this movie because I have never seen so many exploding dinosaurs. I was going to come on here and just dump on the fact that apparently Michael Bay directed this movie because these dinosaurs explode. Made no sense to me. But then I really got to thinking, the science kind of works out. We have fossil fuels. Most people understand, or it's taught, currently believed, that fossil fuels come from the fossils of dinosaurs. And fossil fuels are explosive depending on the refining that has occurred. Now, my understanding, the reason gas works in combustion engines is because you put a little gas in that piston, and then that, what are they called? Yeah, the little things that spark. Gosh, spark plugs. You know, the little things that spark. So they compress the gas, the spark plug sparks it, it explodes inside and forces that piston down. Okay, so depending, kerosene does not explode because it's refined a little more. But fossil fuels are explosive. They come from dinosaurs. So scientifically, it tracks that dinosaurs would be explosive. So I got nothing to bitch about right now. In my opinion, you can logically conclude that dinosaurs are explosive.
Now I fear that Hooja the Sly One.
I would also like to mention that these primitive people, even though they have not discovered bathing, they have mastered the art of lip gloss and razors because, one, this woman here, the Princess Dia, just slathers on that lip gloss, and she does not have a hairy armpit or leg to be seen. So, despite being primitive, they have mastered at least two things, but they still need to discover bathing.
Jubal the ugly one back here.
I heard about him.
David, he will kill you.
He will kill you. I read that, let's pause this on better. Okay, so in this fight, apparently this guy right here, in some kind of freak accident, during this fight, he lost a finger. So he was not only Jubal the ugly one, but Jubal the nine-fingered one. Frodo. Frodo?
What him, David? Behind a barrier of molten lava, an empire of...
I did think the special effects for this like lava gate were pretty good, but at one point in the movie, I don't think they meant for it to happen. Some dude like just runs and jumps right through it with no repercussions whatsoever.
An inferno ruled by winged creatures like guardians of the gates of hell, a host of Satan.
Don't get me started on these winged creatures. I'm going to read to you a description, and if it does not terrify you, because this is technically slated as sci-fi, and this is a horror channel, but I thought I could get away with it because of the monsters. And once I read this description to you, I'm pretty sure you're going to be on my page by saying this is a horror movie.
Nourished by the flesh of sacrificial maidens.
See, look, sacrificial maidens. Obviously, this is a horror movie. See, not a hairy armpit to be seen. This is one freaking long trailer.
Starring Doug McClure, Peter Cushing, Caroline Munro. Take the most terrifying journey of your life.
That's where they're stocking all their dinosaurs. Got to keep those flint rocks away from them dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Edgar Rice Burroughs at the Earth's core.
Overall, I enjoyed this movie. Not going to lie, one bit. Do I have anything else to say about it? I sure do, because I said I was going to read that description to you. Give me a second here. It says here, this is from Pluto. It says, murderous monsters, prehistoric playmates, which I'm guessing is the lip gloss woman, Dia, and telepathic pterodactyls inhabit the center of our world in this fantasy adventure about a manned drill craft. If the idea of telepathic pterodactyls doesn't terrify you, then I say you need to re-examine your life. That's why I'm going to take these off. That's why I'm convinced this is actually a horror movie and not just sci-fi. I think it's sci-fi horror. I mean, pterodactyls in general don't terrify me. And telepaths don't generally scare me. But you put those two together, and that has horror written all over it. Actually, the scariest thing about that is the way they spell pterodactyl. What the? Anybody else agree with me? Who's ever going to look at that word and be like, oh, I pronounce that pterodactyl? Where the heck is this P coming from at the beginning? Why did we put that there? Long story short, did I like this movie? Yes, I did. I enjoyed it. It definitely spoke to the child inside of me and the adult that still loves rubber monsters. I poke fun at the lip gloss, but it was just so freaking evident when Dia first shows up. Her like lips are just shimmering, and yet the rest of her body is just like unbathed. Peter Cushing, again, he did an excellent job showing his range as an actor. I like this guy. The other guy, McClure, I don't know. I somewhat recognize him, but I can't call out a single movie I've seen him in. I dig the aesthetics of that old time kind of futuristic. It's not steampunk. It's something else. But I really dig that kind of, you know, we're in the early times where there's still adventure, but we also have technological advancements where we can do crazy stuff like this. But just going to, you know, burrow down to the center of the earth and see what's going on there. It was absurd, especially these psychic pterodactyls. I was not at all clear on what was going on other than they liked eating hot women. It was weird. It was really weird to me, but everything turns out good in the end. However, there's this love thing going on, and they have to separate at the end because Dia is the princess of these people, and she can't leave her people. But so she's torn between, do I stay with my people or do I go with the love of my life? Which apparently all you need to do to find the love of your life is just have some dude punch another dude in the face. And then it's like, okay, I guess I'm yours now. So that's how things were settled down there. If you like the chick, you just got to punch another dude in the face and she's yours. It's kind of simple, but at the same time not, because that dude might be stronger than you. I wouldn't be punching anybody because I have no confidence in my strength whatsoever. I'd just be like, well, I guess I'm going single for the rest of my life anyway. So that's it. I mean, and that's how things have worked out. So I guess, you know what I mean? The universe has a way of making things go the way they should, whether or not you're supposed to be punching people in the face or not. That's just how I see it. I would give this a 6 out of 10. And it's like, if you like this movie so much, why are you giving it a 6 out of 10? Because it's still rubber monsters. I'm not a goofball. I'm a big proponent for loving the bad movies that you love and not feeling like you have to defend them to people. It's a bad movie, 100%, but I like it. And, you know, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that I like this bad movie. Would I recommend it? It depends. I would only recommend this to certain people. Like my co-host, of course, you haven't seen him in a while, but I would not recommend it to him because I don't think this is something he enjoys. But there are people in my life. A really fantastic friend of mine, Nathan Evans. this is a movie that I would recommend to him. And I would be like, dude, let's watch this. In fact, Nathan is the one who got me turned on to Mystery Science Theater, which I was aware of it, but when I was aware of it, I was somewhat annoyed because I wanted to watch those movies without jokes being made. I wanted to watch them in, as I felt was the seriousness of it. I have now grown into a new place where I can appreciate the jokes that are being made. So Nathan actually somewhat introduced me to Mystery Science Theater. I'd go over to his house and we'd watch movies and crack up together. And Mystery Science Theater covers this movie. So this is definitely one that I would recommend to him, but not to everybody. If you're a huge fan of goofy rubber monsters, then this is for you. If you're a huge fan of overused lip gloss, my friend, this movie is for you. In fact, I may watch it again just for the lip gloss. I'm Judah. You've been watching Creepin' It Real. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any comments, please leave them. I would love to engage with you. Literally, I do this. I would love to be part of the horror community where we get to talk about these things. If you're a lover of rubber monsters, leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you later.